trick or treat, nostalgia weed. When pumpkins fly and haunt your night.
I'm a cameo.
Your little home turns green. Your little face turns green.
This is bullshit.
This little fence now green.
Every film, every show,
Every fly has on their nose. And all it takes is one itty bitty mistake. Look out, they'll haunt you too. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick nostalgia weed. When ghosts come knocking at your door, badly written drugs and more. You better hope they won't be me on nostalgia weed.
Hey, you all ready to shoot the Ring review?
Yep, all costumed up.
I'm sorry, but what do pirates have to do with the ring?
I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Well, at least we know you survived watching it.
Yeah, right? Last week when I put it on, I wasn't sure.
Wait a minute, you watched it 1 week ago?
Yeah, why?
You didn't wait 7 days?
Oh, come on. We're doing this shit?
Tell me you didn't watch it on tape.
I specifically watched it on tape to see if it would be any scarier.
Cheese and crackers, are you insane?
Oh, relax. I didn't even get a call from... Hello? 7 days. What's my favorite scary movie? The call's coming from inside the house. Malcolm and Tamara sheet my sweet buttery taint. I haven't extended my car warranty. Fuck! Malcolm, Tamara, these premium prices! My refrigerator's running. Oh my god, I better go catch it! Malcolm, Tamara, you doing this?
What are you talking about?
I had this idea years ago.
Oh, hey, Simpsons.
What else is on?
Shows how much she...
Hey, is that Wicker Man?
Hey, this is fun.
Meep, meep.
I guess I never found the Ring that scary. With that said, I have learned to appreciate other aspects of it. Scary children are not a new thing in horror films, but the image of a little girl in a torn dress with hair covering her face has become an instant icon. You see this visual everywhere now, even in logos for other horror studios. Released in 2002 and based on the '98 Japanese film Ringu, I'll admit I didn't like Gore Verbinski's film when it first came out. Scary movies were not exactly the most subtle back then and relied way too much on bad CG effects. I wanted more quiet and subtle, frightening films. Over the years, though, we have gotten more of that variety, and looking back, I actually see this as a good segue to them. The Ring is a little slower and quieter compared to your average blockbuster horror flick. So I think it serves as a good transition from something like Jason X to something like Haunting of Hill House. But come on, is there really nothing that got under my skin with this movie? Am I really saying a visual this iconic couldn't possibly creep me out even a little?
Oh, look, she's in the movie Karen now.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen.
Let's take a closer look at The Ring.
Ooh, Human Centipede is on.
It opens with two girls, wait, this is Gore Verbinski, and early 2000s puke green, everybody, who are giving away part of the film's commentary before the film even starts.
I hate television. All the molecules in our heads are all unstable. All the companies know about it, but they're not doing anything about it.
I remember when Candyman opened up with, hey, I think racism's still a thing. What am I talking about? It does now. To the film's credit, there's not a ton of commentary being hammered in. Actually, I think its most subtle take is about a half hour in. But we do get one small miracle, 2.5 hour running time, Gore Verbinski getting straight to the point.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it? You start to play it, and it's like somebody's nightmare.
It's called the Star Wars Holiday Special. Katie, played by Amber Tamlin, is told about the urban legend that when you watch the tape, you get a phone call saying you'll die in 7 days. Coincidentally, Katie happens to have seen this tape exactly 7 days earlier. Again, it's Gore Verbinski. I'm just glad they didn't have to take an hour sailing to figure that out.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay, yeah, I will.
Okay, 2 points for not having anything behind the fridge. I think even the Chun music was shocked by that. Oh, sorry, my bad. There's always something there. Sure enough, weird shit does start happening as the TV turns on, her bedroom pisses itself, and Katie is killed via extreme close-up. Whoa! I love this movie knows the importance of few frame scares. Some of my favorite movies have few frame scares, because while the image alone can be frightening, showing only a glimpse, barely allowing you to comprehend what you just saw, leaves you even more uncomfortable. Same thing here. That face is pretty creepy, but show it for only a split second? Yikes. I give credit too that this isn't just an unrelated kill. A lot of horror films start off with a random person being axed off just to show what the killer is capable of. But here, the death kickstarts the story, as Katie is the cousin of Aiden, who's the son of our lead, a journalist named Rachel, played by Naomi Watts. He's not adjusting well.
Miss Keller, I'm bothered by these drawings.
I mean, the composition, the color scheme, this is first grade material and he's a second grade boy.
He's not the talkative type. That doesn't mean he has nothing to say.
Don't make me give you my Elizabeth Holmes stare. While they get ready for Katie's funeral, we discover the first big twist of the movie. She's raising a Culkin.
We don't have enough time. I'm talking about time before we die. Good night, Rachel.
Alright, we already got one creepy kid in this movie, and unless you want to wear a blue dress, we're keeping it that way. I'm also glad the movie has a lot of quiet moments. The original Ringu was great at building up this atmosphere of dread, and while I don't think this one does it quite as well, remember, most scary movies then had constant music and lame jump scares. Then. So I appreciate they let an uncomfortable moment just be an uncomfortable moment. Speaking of which, while Aiden tries not to be Cole from The Sixth Sense, Rachel comforts her sister, but is interrupted by one of the few legit jump scares I've seen in a movie.
I saw her face.
You sure she didn't watch the holiday special? They did this same shot in Ringu, but something I've discovered is while Ringu had better build-up, The Ring has better payoffs. This isn't bad, but this is a scary stories illustration. For a film that's technically PG-13, they get away with some pretty disturbing imagery.
It's about the tape.
What tape?
The one that kills you when you watch it.
Rachel finds out about the tape by talking to her friends, and she decides to do a story on it, whether her boss likes it or not.
Punctilious prick, you're fired.
No, I'm not. I'm cooking too good a story.
What is it?
Okay, I'm gonna ask Jeffrey Lebowski for his rent. She makes her way to where Katie and her now deceased friend saw the video, and uh-oh, I smell a Shyamalan character.
Hi, I was
Take a card. Card?
No.
Damn.
Do you like hot dogs? Or what's your name and occupation? God, I need a quirk!
This is your card, right?
You don't work here, do you? He shows her the only tapes they have on the grounds that Katie might have watched.
We bought tape players for videos.
Quite a selection.
Hey, nowadays that would be. She steals the one unmarked tape, goes to their cabin located by the 6 feet under tree, and puts on the mysterious VHS. I know this is supposed to be scary, but honestly it just looks like a college student's thesis film. If you don't get it, you don't get me. Sure enough, she gets a call telling her the bad news.
7 days.
Oh, how that means your ass is grass!
She goes to Noah, played by Martin Henderson, who's a video photographer, something that clearly makes bank. He's also Aiden's father. Oh wait, we're not supposed to know that yet. It's a kind of pointless twist later. Don't worry, you wouldn't have been that surprised anyway.
Is this the same camera?
Scan the rest.
Oh, she put it on the System of a Down setting. She lets him watch the video, and you know this film would be gorgeous if it wasn't shot through a Listerine bottle. Okay, I'll admit, I tried to figure out more why the color green in horror films just doesn't scare me. Yes, like I said before, it's usually a relaxing color, but it can also be associated with sickness, mold, and disgusting stuff. But maybe that's it. There's a lot of creepy green things, but not that many creepy green places. There's a lot of creepy rooms that are brown. Blue is very common for night. Even red and yellow connects with alarming or uncomfortably hot scenarios. But unless you're in a medical environment or the woods during the day, green just isn't commonly associated with scary places. But I don't know, maybe that's why it's supposed to work. Like, you wouldn't see that sickly color everywhere, so it throws you off. I just don't hear that many people saying, "Ooh, it's pretty dark and green around here." I know it's a personal preference, I just never got into it. What I do get into is this clever scene where she sees 3 generations all doing the same thing, watching television. You could already argue there's a hint of commentary with this idea, you know, TV killing you and all. But just this moment with no dialogue of her noticing all these strangers of different ages are doing the exact same thing surprisingly says a lot more than the nail on the head conversation earlier. If you're looking for a way to kill a lot of people, having you watch something on TV that murders you sadly seems like a good way to do it. Speaking of which, after Noah watches the tape, he doesn't seem as spooked as Rachel.
4 people are dead.
Yeah, but like I said, not from
4
watching
people who watched it.
Come on, we watched it. We're hanging.
It takes a week.
There's a lot of homicidal prep that goes into it. Making the call, checking that you even have a TV. Even that video took months and months of production labor to film. That's why every murder comes complete with closing credits. He helps her make a copy of the video so they could each study it on their own time, and man, this movie really is about the dead, because I haven't heard so much talk about VHS in my life.
The numbers of the control track, they're put on the tape whenever it's recorded.
Tracks totally shot. Servos can't line them up.
The makeup of the tracks is like a signature for whatever did the recording.
Totally analog. She'll read to the very edge of your tape.
So the control track could tell us where it came from.
Tracking, your monitor, your printer.
You sure this won't be a problem?
We'll last forever.
You sure this won't be a problem?
We'll last forever.
While looking closer at the tape, she realizes one of the more realistic parts might look a little too realistic. Little does she know that insect went through his own fly version of Stay Tuned. And by God, I want to hear that story! Hey, didn't you used to have a kid in this movie?
He learned the word conundrum.
Really?
Yeah, and then he drew my picture.
Yeah, bundle up and get on your winter hat for that rain. I guess maybe I should have a scene with you. The other kid's more marketable. Oh God, it's the ape from the Gainomax commercials. I've written bananas out of my diet. What more do you want? She wakes up to a shocking discovery, though. Aiden is watching the video. No! I'm sorry, Mom. You know my natural attraction to watching videos marked copy. No, seriously, why didn't you hide that?
He watched the tape.
Who watched it?
Our son.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that was supposed to be a twist. Do it again.
Our son.
Woo! I guess the halfway point is not a bad time to have a surprise, but I never got what it added to the story. Why was keeping that a secret in the grand scheme of things important? Hell, why is having him be the father important? It doesn't come that much into play. All it does is excuse bad, awkward dialogue because I guess he's supposed to be a bad, awkward dad.
You wish I was around more?
You want to be around more?
I don't think I'd make a good father.
I was in a Britney Spears video, for God's sake. Though nowadays that might be a good thing. What do you think? By the way, thank you both for being so quiet.
Sure.
You have a review to do.
Hey, can that still work?
I'm bored. Let's see what's on.
Did you get fries from across the street?
Bob's Burgers.
Nice!
Did you bring Jimmy Pesto's fries into my restaurant?
Oh, I love this scene. Keep an eye on Teddy's reaction.
Where's Teddy?
Just above her navel.
I know what I'm doing!
That was a good reaction.
I got my own process, Bob!
Rachel discovers where the creator of the video might be, so she travels via ferry, but Noah has something important to give her. In the rain. If you take it even slower, even more water will get on it. I guess you really don't like your son.
I don't.
Okay. But while on the ferry, a horse gets loose. I don't know, why not try to make a horse scary? And seems to be chasing after Rachel. I'm gonna be the TriStar logo. Da-dun! Aw, shit. And call me a sick bastard, but I find this part really funny. maybe it's that we're suddenly supposed to care about this animal that was trying to kill the lead. Or maybe it's that when this girl screams, it almost sounds like the boat is screaming too. Whoa, poor horsey, whoa! Or maybe it's that it cuts to the ring for a split second. As if we're supposed to be like, oh, that's what caused it. I thought he heard he was gonna be in another Spirit sequel or something.
Excuse me, Mr. Morgan.
She approaches a man named Mr. Morgan, played by Brian Cox, who may have some answers to what's going on.
What is it with reporters? You take one person's tragedy and force the world to experience it.
I feel the same way when they greenlight a Raja Gosnell movie. He doesn't give her much, but thankfully Aiden is a sort of psychic.
Why did you draw that house?
She told me to. The little girl.
So she's still...
She lives in a dark place now.
Seriously, just because you're a horror film doesn't mean you automatically need a kid who sees paranormal stuff. She eventually finds out that the little girl was a mental patient named Samara, played by DeVay Chase, and she was the daughter of Mr. Morgan.
Your daddy loves you?
Daddy loves the horses.
Whoa, now we know who Bojack's father really is. Speaking of which, Mr. Morgan sees her watching the video and devises a pretty inventive way of killing himself. There's no tall buildings where these people live. They go back to the cabin where the tape was watched and try searching for answers. What's this? Aha, an arrow. It seems to be pointing towards, or maybe it's what's under the arrow. Well, well, well. Oh god, I should be Aiden's father. I'm already making dad jokes. Oh, it looks like the rodent from Mouse Hunt is at it again. Oh my god, wouldn't that be a Verbinski twist crossover? Again, I know this is supposed to be scary, but Rachel getting knocked down the well with a TV. Christ, I can't even say that sentence without giggling. Jesus, is this The Ring or Scary Movie 3? These scenes are hilarious. Rachel finds Samara's body and discovers her mother tried to kill her, but she was left alive to slowly starve in, you guessed it, 7 days.
You're gonna bury her next week. It's over.
I'm saying that in a horror film, so you know it's legit.
Sometimes children yell or cry or draw pictures.
This one made a video from beyond the grave. Kids! Dead kids! You know, this whole searching for a dead child while ignoring our own has really brought us closer together. And thus we get to, let's face it, the real reason you all remember this movie. Surprise endings in horror films are a dime a dozen, but this one left a pretty big impact. It's revealed that finding Samara's body, well, didn't do shit.
You helped her?
What's wrong, honey?
You weren't supposed to help her.
Yeah, it's not about the dead finding justice so they can sleep in peace like it was building up. Nope, it's just an angry, bitter bitch who wants to spread her misery to as many people as possible. And she does so in the most memorable effect of the movie. I'll admit, even though I wasn't finding this film that scary, this got a big reaction out of me. If you told me in a movie there was a scene where a ghost steps through a TV, that wouldn't really scare me. But the build-up is what makes it work. None of the other effects in the film were like this. It was surprisingly pretty light on the CG scares. So all it takes is a creative way to go a step further beyond what you're used to seeing. Even Samara we haven't seen a ton of, and we technically haven't seen her as a ghost. There was that one moment in the dream, but that's about it. So there's a mystery to what's behind that creepy long hair, and what exactly she can do. Also remember, most of the scares are on the video. The screen is the barrier that can't be crossed. So when it's suddenly broken through, and with really clever texture effects with her being low res and glitchy all over the place, it's very jarring. It's like crossing the bridge in Sleepy Hollow or when the tent is snapped open in Sixth Sense. Those are the areas that are supposed to be safe, and suddenly they're obliterated. So yeah, despite most of the film just being okay, it really knew how to stick the landing. Rachel puts together that the reason she survived is because she made a copy and showed it to her son. So she has him do the same thing.
What about the person we show it to? What happens to them?
Ruth insulted my shoes last week. She can die. And that was The Ring. Not a great film, but it's got some great stuff in it. Compared to a lot of scary movies of the past and present, it does take its time to build up its scares in ways that are either effective enough or downright awesome. There's also something uniquely retro that it's a VHS that curses everybody. I'm not gonna lie, I actually went out of my way to get a VHS of this movie and watch it on a VCR to see if it was creepier. And you know what? It kinda was. I think that's a sign the film is clearly working. While at times it can be dull and not always make sense, its payoffs are memorable and the premise has the makings of a classic urban legend. While I certainly wouldn't call it one of the scariest movies ever made, there's definitely a reason it quickly became iconic. And seeing how this image is still all over the place, it looks like it's gonna stay that way for a long time. Now where did I put that remote?
Oh shit, she's got the remote.
What are we gonna do now?
Oh, guess my refrigerator was running.
This is your card, right?